I hope this video breaks some chains today. I just want to say this. It's okay to grieve being single. It's okay to be sad about being single. Hi, my name is James, and this is This Beautiful Crazy Life. Welcome to my channel, where we talk about really hard issues, whether politics, media, theology, and everything in between, and to break Christian cliches and to, empower the saints. And I want to break this Christian cliche about the season of singleness and how that term is really misused, and how the church, and I say church loosely, has a very shallow view of singleness. That the only thing that Christians are taught, in my experience, is that if you're not happy being single, it's probably because you need to work on yourself and you need to be fulfilled in yourself and you need to just work on you, or you're just really horny, so you just want to have sex, and that sounds like a caricature, but find me a sermon otherwise, because everything I've heard is pretty not helpful, And unfortunately, it seems to always be from pastors who got married at like 12 years old and is trying to tell people how hard it is being single and how they dealt with it, even though they've been married since they were like 12. I just haven't heard a whole lot of deep theology about this. I mean, if you think of all the famous Christians out there in the United States, name a single pastor. When I say name a single pastor, I mean name a pastor who is single. A single male. You might find a couple single women out there, but I bet you can't really think of one, can you? Because I can't think of one. And this is a problem, right? Our voices, Christians like myself who are single, don't really have a voice to talk about this stuff. And the people who do talk about it kind of just follow a very bad cliche that it's worth the wait. It will happen soon. Be happy where you are. Here's some tips to be happy. Step 1, work out. Like super unhelpful, right? Super unhelpful stuff sometimes, And not to say that none of these things have wisdom. There's wisdom in a lot of these sermons. It's just, I don't think it's super deep or helpful as a single person. I remember one time my pastor, an old pastor, did this sermon. I think he titled it like Finding Joy Through Singleness. And the majority of the sermon was about how to stay sexually pure. And it wasn't really about, how do you actually find real joy through that? I mean, there's a lot of things you could say, things like community, friendship, family, all those things there, right? These are things I talk to about people. And you can have all those things and still have moments where you're just like, man, I wish I had someone. Also, what do we expect in our society? That people grieve being single when from the moment you're born, you're told that you grow up, you find a good job, you find your spouse, you get married, you settle down and have kids. And when you don't hit any of those milestones, especially that big one of marriage and finding kids, because a lot of people find their careers. And because of our economics today, people can live on their own relatively comfortably without another income. Or you get roommates, you even do better. People are literally looking for companionship, because as someone who's been in relationships before, I can say there's a difference between being single and having still a strong community and just having that really special person who is like literally the closest person to you. And it's not the same, because that's how our culture is set up. And I don't know if that's like how we were meant to be made. I was reading Tim Keller's book, The Meaning of Marriage. And he states in his book, first chapter in, that there literally is no closer relationship between a man and his wife. If that's the case, a lot of us may never experience that. And the church doesn't seem to really have an answer for it. Because as I was reading Tim Keller's book, it's all about marriage. But I don't think Tim Keller has a book on how to be single, especially if you think on just like right off the back, that kind of sad note that, hey, if you're not married, you will never find a deeper relationship than this. It's really disheartening, And the fact that we're told that, hey, just be happy all the time. And if you're not happy, it's probably because you don't love Jesus enough, isn't fair to a lot of people. And there might be something more to that. And I know there's people right now in the comments who are ready to give me a verse. You know how Paul talks about how, hey, I know a lot of y'all want to get married, but hey, being single is way cool because you can be single like me and you can go and spread the gospel. But not everyone wants to do that. And we also don't know if Paul ever struggled with that or not. He doesn't say. Maybe Paul didn't. Maybe Paul was so cool that he was just like, I don't need none of these chicks, bruh. I'm a Pharisee. Now I'm a Christian and I'm preaching the gospel. Maybe that's just how great Paul was. Maybe that's why he was the Apostle Paul who, started a bunch of churches. But I know a lot of us aren't there. And as someone who's done, Christian ministry for young adults for like 3 years, ministering to people in their 30s and 20s in that pastoring role, having conversations with men and women, feeling deep, deep pain of being alone and not finding anything super helpful to help them go through it. And so I just want to tell people it's okay. Like, I get it, I feel like my life's pretty good too. But as I get older, I notice a few things, like I want to hit some of those milestones. And my mortality feels like it's becoming much more real. Like, I've seen people get sick from my age, from like cancer and stuff like that, who've had real serious medical concerns, or people have been divorced, or people have lost their child or husband or spouse. I've had friends die, older friends around my age. Like, I see there's nothing promised to today, and to say things like, hey, just wait it out, there's definitely someone for you is wrong. I mean, it discounts so many people who have certain disabilities, people for whatever reason just don't ever get married. I know people just never got married and they seem perfectly fine to me, who have deep relationships with Jesus and all these things there. People have been divorced, never been remarried. There's nearly no promises at all. And somehow we just don't address these things. And as I've gotten older, even at 32 years old, I feel myself aging more, and I see my friends and the hardships that just come with getting older. And I just wish we thought about this, how we could address and help people who are feeling lonely and telling them, hey, I get it. It's okay. Like, I don't know if you've ever been the third wheel, fifth wheel, seventh wheel, ninth wheel, but I have. Literally almost every Christmas party, for some reason I almost have no one to ever bring to one of my company's Christmas parties. And like, usually by the end of the night, because everyone's sauced except me, it's great, people are all cuddled up with their booze, and hey, we're going back to our hotel room, because they give you discount hotels, and I just go home, and yeah, it can be kind of a bummer. It really can. Or, when you're just with a group of like married friends and, everyone's like, oh, let's pair up for a game. And you're like, oh, well, James can join our team. Thanks, guys. I'm glad, like, it kind of sucks at times, Now, in general, I'm a pretty happy person. But there are moments where I just feel those little things there. And unless I'm literally the only single Christian ever who's ever felt these things and I'm wrong, and you guys really are just better Christians than me, which I doubt that's the case, I think a lot of people just feel that way. And the church doesn't have a full theology on how to help people with it. So I just want to say it's okay. If you felt that way, it's okay. And there's a lot of different things you can do, but if you feel like you have a good community, you feel like your life's relatively stable, and for whatever reason, just no one has seemed to attach to you the way you're looking for, it's okay to feel sad over that. No matter how old you are too. Like, I used to be like, I don't understand why a 19-year-old feels that way. But like, bro, if you grew up in the church your whole life and that's what you're taught, it makes sense. I mean, when I was 19, 20, 21, 22, I was really just worried about school, college, and just partying. I wasn't really looking for any relationship. But at some point I was like, dude, I hope I can get married, And I think like when I thought about my future, I can tell you, I didn't think about being single in my 30s. And here I am. So I don't know. I don't know if this made sense. It's just something that I've been thinking about a lot for like the last few months, and how it's kind of hard to navigate, because even sometimes talking about it with like my married friends, who may have felt this way before, they definitely seem like they forget what it was like to be single really quickly. I don't know why. And, but talking to other single people, I think a lot of them have felt this way before. And for some of us, it's just harder to find someone. Don't know why. I feel like I'm pretty great. And I feel like a lot of my friends I know who are single are really awesome people who would just blow anyone away with how great they are. I genuinely believe that, like, all of my single friends I have are really great people. And a lot of them are super attractive too, so I don't know, but it's all right. And I'm not going to tell you you're going to find someone or not, because I honestly don't know, and I don't want to make that promise to anyone, but just lay it on the feet of Jesus and let him try to be your comforter, as you grieve through this, and not hide your feelings, and be sad for a little bit if you need to. Just don't stay in that place, and know that you are great. You're a great person. And God loves you. And to everyone who's watching this, I love you. Even if I don't know you, I love you. And that's why I'm making this, because you deserve to be fully loved. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, share it. Married, single, engaged friends, share it to them all. And give it a like. It really helps. I want more people to watch this video. I think it would be good. See you guys. Hey, y'all, real quick. I was just thinking this, like, one of the things that irks me about, hey, just be content in your singleness, and if you're single, it's probably, you're not happy, you don't love Jesus enough. We would never say that about someone's marriage. We give whole seminars, really helpful seminars, and all this time and stuff dedicated to married families, and we just don't put the same resources into single people, unless it's to make sure they don't have sex. But yeah, we would never tell a married person, if you're feeling lonely, it's just because you don't love Jesus enough, and you're just not happy enough in your marriage. That's hilarious.